Jai Sapadikar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Jagannatha Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ji Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai. Shri Sringa Bhagavan Ki Jai. Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Srila Gaur Kishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhaum Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Gauri Vedanta Charya Varadevi Dibhusan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Surup Damodar Roy Ramanandari Gaura Parsada Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Baho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gopa Vardhan Dvar Shivanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Jagannatha Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ji Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Kshetra Dham Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigdanashana Shri Sringa Dev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhu Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaura Trise Namah. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Angoshyamali Machatavir Abhito Mandikritendi Varam Jadyam Jagudarochisam Vidadatam Pattam Varasya Shriya Vrindaranya Nivasanam Hridi Lasad Damabir Amodaram Radha Skanda Niveshi Tojala Bhujam Dhyayem Damodaram Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshay Kriptascha kamadi taranga madhye kripa mayi tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanar vindam vrindai tulsi devyai priyai keshavasya cha Krishna bhakti prade devi satyavachai namo namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. And then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And my Dandavat pranams to all my Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and my Dandavat pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. All right, so we're resuming after one special Appearance Day festival for Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, which enlivened everyone. I mean, it was so sweet yesterday. All the kirtan and the devotees' hearts expressing. So now we're resuming the Braj Mandala Parikrama reading from the section of Mathura on the Braj Mandala Parikrama, and we covered considerable sections of this. We covered the Janmastan, and we covered Vishram Ghat, and then the 24 Ghats, Yamuna's 24 Ghats. And trying to find the spot again. Okay. Now we are going to proceed in the lotus footsteps of our Srila Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas to the places to visit on the Mathura Parikrama path. Quite a few places. So Gurudev is saying that apart from the 24 Ghats just described, there are numerous other places of darshan on the 10-mile parikrama of Mathura. Having started the parikrama at Vishram Ghat, the first place that one comes to is Pipaleshwar Mahadev. Now, do any of you know or remember how many Mahadevs there are in Mathura?
4.
Yes, 4. Now we're going to hear. So Pipaleshwar Mahadev, situated near to Vishram Ghat, in the eastern part of Mathura Puri, Pipaleshwar Mahadev, one of the 4 area protectors. An area protector is called a Kshetrapal. Kshetrapal. So, one of the 4 area protectors of Mathura always protects the area of Mathura, Pipaleshwar Mahadev. Thereafter, one can take darshan of the following: Veni Madhava, Rameshwara, Dauji, Madan Mohan, Tinduk Tirtha, Suryagat, and Dhruvatila. Then, on Sapta Rishi Tila, one can have the sacred darshan of the 7 great sages. Do you know who the 7 great sages are? We've heard their names here and there. But these are universal sages. We know about them. Haven't met them personally yet, but we've met their representatives. So, the names of these sages are Atri Muni, right? Marichi, Kratu, Angira, Gautama, Vashishta, and Pulastya. These 7 sages, the Sapta Rishis, reside in Mathura Dham at this place, performing their worship of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Now comes Bali Maharaj Tila. Here one can have darshan of Bali Maharaj and Vamanadev. King Bali worshipped Lord Vamanadev at this place. Next is Akrura Bhavan. A little further on lies the residence of Akruraji. He wanted to bring Krishna and Balaram to his residence, but they stayed with their father, Sri Nanda Baba, on the outskirts of Mathura and promised to come to Akrura after killing Kamsa. So, you know the story about Akrura coming on the chariot to Braj. This is a very important pastime in Krishna Lila. And if you're not that familiar, then you can also refresh by reading the Krishna book and get an update on that. But Akrura is actually the uncle of Krishna. He's Krishna's uncle also. So Akrura was a very great devotee. And when he came into Braj on the chariot with the objective, because Kamsa told him to go and bring Krishna and Balaram. And there was this whole arrangement for a wrestling match. That was the basis upon which they would be invited to come. And so Krishna and Balaram came on Akrura's chariot, and after followed Nanda Maharaj and many of the cowherd boys, and they also came to Braj. To Mathura, and parked their bullock carts on the outskirts of the city. But Krishna, he told to Akrura, because Akrura wanted Krishna to come to his home in Mathura city, right? But he told, no, I will come after I kill Kamsa. So then all those pastimes took place, and we're going to hear of the various personalities who Krishna encountered in Mathura, like the washerman and the flower seller and the elephant Kuvalayapid, which Kamsa tried to put as an obstacle that Krishna would have to pass through, and maybe he was hoping the elephant would kill Krishna, right? And then there was the wrestlers in the arena, so that whole thing. And as we are reading and hearing about all these places, we'll hear not only about that, but also about previous yugas, how Mathura is so ancient. We've already read about the 24 gods and everything, but it's all true. It's all absolutely true and real. For yugas, it's been the highest holy place. So now, the Akrura Bhavan means the house of Akrura, where he lived, and he wanted to bring Krishna and Balaram to his residence, but they didn't come. They stayed with their father, Nanda Baba, on the outskirts of Mathura. And then they promised to come to Akrura after killing Kamsa. Now the next place on the path is called Kubja Kupa, the well of Kubja. Who was Kubja?
She was the one who Vamana Deva's, first she adored him, and then when she saw what he did to Bali Maharaj, she cursed him. Right?
Kubja?
No, she went in a different body.
I know. Oh. Yeah, because the sister of Bali Maharaj became Putana.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I forgot about that. That's good. You're reminding me. So, okay. So while wandering throughout Mathura, Krishna and Balaram, they met Kubja, a maidservant of Kamsa, at this place, at the well. And with great love, Kubja offered Angaraga, it's called Angaraga, an application of ointments to the limbs of Krishna and Balaram. Just by touching her waist and chin with his hands, Krishna transformed her into a teenage girl as beautiful as a heavenly damsel. You know what she was before Krishna touched her? Hunchback. He doesn't mention that here. But she was hunchback. Yeah. So Krishna just touched her waist and her chin, and then he straightened her out and transformed her into a beautiful teenage girl as a heavenly damsel. Looking at him with shy, lust-filled eyes, Kubja tried to take him to her home. And Sri Krishna promised to visit her upon completing his work, and then he left. And after killing Kamsa, Krishna went to Kubja's house with Uddhava, and he stayed there for some time, thus fulfilling her heart's desire. And that's a beautiful. When Krishna came, she had so much desire and love in her heart towards Krishna, but it was mixed with what? Lust. It was mixed with some lust. So Krishna knew this, and Uddhava came along with Krishna. You know? And so then she wanted to entertain, bring some foodstuffs and all this. And Krishna sat, I forget where he sat, I think on her bed there, on her bed. But Kubja came close to him, and then Krishna pulled her to him and embraced her, and all of her lust completely disappeared. And he completely purified her. So she became Premi Bhakta. Yes. This is the power of Krishna. There's nothing impure can stand in the way of Krishna. And if anyone has even the slightest desire to please Krishna, because she had that, she wanted to please Krishna, but she also had some lust to please her own senses through Krishna. But Krishna completely purified that. So that's what will happen to us. It will absolutely happen by chanting the holy names very sincerely and seriously and dedicatedly. All lusty past reactions and impressions and everything gradually will be fully purified. And then we will take birth with very high samskaras, and we will attain bhav with very high sadhu sangha. Krishna will make all those arrangements. Very great hope on this pathway. Very great hope there is. For absolutely certain. So now, the next place is called Ranga Bhumi. And the next Mahadev. So who is the next Mahadev? There's already a hint right here. It's at a place called Ranga Bhumi. Yes. So, in the southern part of Mathura, Sri Rangeshwar is the protector of the Dham. And here's the story. Conspiring to kill Krishna and Balaram, Maharaj Kamsa, the destroyer of his own Bhoja dynasty, he had a wrestling arena, a Ranga Shala, built there in that place. Actually, this is very near. This is the nearest Mahadev deity to Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math. If behind, in the neighborhood behind Keshavji Gaudiya Math, there is the Rangesh, the original deity that 5,000 years ago. It's been there since then. Kamsa worshipped that deity. We're going to hear about that. Yeah. But right near to Keshavji Gaudiya Math, even closer, along the main road, right on the main road there is the place called Kamstila. And that's where Krishna actually killed Kamsa, right near Keshavji Gaudiya Math, you know. So, yes, he had this wrestling arena, which is called a Ranga Shala. He built there. Now, through cunning means, Kamsa arranged for Akrur to bring Krishna and Baladev from Nanda Gokul. On the pretext of sightseeing, Krishna and Baladev reached this wrestling arena with the cowherd boys after asking various people for directions. The wrestling arena was beautifully decorated. Flowers bedecked splendid arched gateways, and the enormous bow of Shankara was placed at the front of the arena. Now, the mad elephant, what's his name? Kuvalayapida, who had been trained to kill the two brothers, he blocked the main entrance, waiting to receive a signal to kill them. The deity of Rangeshwar Mahadev had been beautifully decorated in various ways, and his splendor was astonishing. When he entered the arena, Sri Krishna effortlessly picked up the bow with his left hand in front of everyone. He strung the bow within a moment, and he pulled the string in such a way that the bow broke into pieces, making a thunderous sound. Both brothers easily killed all the soldiers who were protecting the bow. They then continued their tour of the city. And at sunset, they returned to their camp. At dawn the next day, the wrestling festival began. Many gigantic Chanur, Mushtika, Shala, Toshala, they were ready for the wrestling match inside the arena. Maharaj Kamsa, together with his friends and prominent citizens, were seated on an elevated platform. Krishna and Balaram returned to the arena, and after slaying Kuvalayapida, Sri Krishna pulled out the elephant's two tusks and used them to kill the elephant keeper and the other wicked people, like flexing their muscles to display their power and strength. Sri Krishna, the propagator of decent conduct, suggested that he and Balaram fight with the wrestlers. Oh, fight with wrestlers their own age. But to entertain Maharaj Kamsa, Chanur arrogantly challenged Sri Krishna, and Mushtika challenged Balaram. This is what Sri Krishna and Balaram, in fact, wanted. And so the fight began. Considering this wrestling match to be immoral and improper, the women of the city stood up and they prepared to leave. beholding the sweetness of Sri Krishna's form, they said, "Ah, in truth, is supreme. The peacocks, male and female parrots, cows, calves, and rivers of Braja are all blessed. They are satisfied by freely relishing Krishna's variegated sweetness." That's what they told. So as the women of Mathura were discussing this, actually they're doing it. Kuta, Shala, Toshala, and the other wrestlers. Kamsa became furious, and he ordered that Krishna, Baladev, Nanda, and Vasudeva be taken prisoners. However, in a moment and with great speed, Sri Krishna leapt onto the platform where Kamsa was sitting. Grabbing him by the hair, Krishna on the ground. Krishna then straddled Kamsa's chest, and striking him with his fists, he caused Kamsa's life air to leave him like a bird in flight. Sri Krishna effortlessly and wonderfully slew Kamsa and his associates in the wrestling arena. Seeing this spectacle, which is called Ranga, that's why it's called the wrestling arena, Ranga, he became overjoyed, that deity. Hence his name became Sri Rangeshwar. To this day, Rangabhumi glorifies this colorful pastime of Sri Krishna. According to Srimad Bhagavatam and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Kamsa was killed on the day of Shiv Ratri, Shiv Chaturdasi. So that's like, what is it, end of January, somewhere around end of January, beginning of February, Shiv Ratri. Since Kamsa had called Akrura to his home for advice on the night of Ekadasi, then Akrura had reached Nanda Bhavan on Dvadashi. So the night of Ekadasi, then the next day, Akrura had reached Nanda Bhavan on Dvadashi. And then on Trayodashi, Sri Krishna and Balaram had traveled from Nandagaon to Mathura in Akrura's chariot. That evening they wandered around the city of Mathura, and the bow sacrifice was performed. Then the next day, on Shiva Chaturdashi, the two brothers killed Kuvalayapid, Chanur, Mushtika, and Kamsa. Wow. Shiva Chaturdasi. Yes. So every year, in the month of Kartik, on Shukla Dashami, one day before Devotan Ekadasi, the Chaubey community organizes a festival to celebrate the killing of Kamsa. Jai. During this festival, a 25 to 30 foot tall statue of Kamsa is built to be killed by Sri Krishna. All right. Now, the next place, which is very near to this wrestling arena and Rangeshwar Mahadev, is what? Keshavji Gaudiya Math. So now Gurudev is telling about this Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math, a very historical place, especially for us. Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math is adjacent to Sri Rangeshwar Mahadev and Kanks Tila, on the right side of the Parikrama path and on the left side of the Mathura Agra road. It is currently a well-known place of darshan. Acharya Keshari Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj named this mutt after the presiding deity of Mathura, the Supreme Lord of Lords, Sri Keshavaji. So from its inauguration, the author of this book was appointed the superintendent in order to propagate pure bhakti as practiced and preached by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to people in the Hindi-speaking areas of India. Who's the author of the book? Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Then, in a very short time, many books were published from here in Hindi, India's national language, like Jaiva Dharma, Sri Sikshastakam, Srimad Mahaprabhu Ki Siksha, Upadeshamrita, Sri Manasiksha, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and the monthly magazine Sri Bhagavad Patrika. New books about bhakti continue to be published to this day. Sri Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta, who widely spread Sri Harinam Sankirtan in the Western world as preached by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who extensively published and distributed Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and many other devotional scriptures in many languages of the world, he accepted the renounced order of life, Tridanda Sannyas, at this place from Om Vishnupad Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. He accepted the sannyas name and title of Tridandi Swami Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. The author of this book was the priest at this ceremony. After taking darshan of this mutt, we now proceed to Shiv Tala and Kankali Devi. So now we're reading about Kankali Devi. The temple of Kankali Devi is found on Kankali Tila. She is called Kamsa Kali or Kankali Devi because Kamsa worshipped her. This is the same 8-armed Durga Devi who rides on a lion that Kamsa wanted to kill, thinking her to be the daughter of Devaki. But the goddess escaped from his hands and ascended into the sky. Proceeding on from here, we come to Balabhadra Kunda. So that pastime, when Vasudeva returned with the baby girl from Gokul, that's the same deity that she turned into the form of Durga in the sky. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvi Kavita Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jyoti. Yes. So that deity, Kankali Devi, is that personality who appeared from the womb of Mother Yashoda and was brought to the prison house of Kamsa. So I was always, not always, but at a certain point I began to think, what became of that baby girl, right? Because we also hear that Krishna has a sister named Subhadra. Right. So, where did that sister come from? Was that the same? Did that deity in the sky then transform back into the baby girl? I've never heard that that deity did. But I think for a long time, I was assuming, right? Were you assuming that that was the personality known as Subhadra, the sister of Krishna and Balaram?
I never made the connection.
Yeah. But actually it's not. There was another child from Devaki and Vasudeva. And that child grew up as Subhadra, got married to Arjuna, and she's also Yogamaya. So, very wonderful information comes to us through our Goswamis and their literatures that they produced, and our acharyas who give the commentaries on them. Then, now, after taking, proceeding on from here, we come to Balabhadra Kunda. On the banks of this pond lie the temple of Dauji and Lord Jagannath. And then we arrive at the temple of the third Mahadev. And what's the third Mahadev's name? Bhuteshwar Mahadev. Yes. Bhuteshwar Mahadev, the eternal area protector, Kshetrapal on Mathura's western side, is Bhuteshwar Mahadev. In the same temple compound is the cave of Patala Devi, whom Kamsa worshipped. And a little further on are Potra Kunda, Adi Keshava, and Sri Krishna Janmastan, which have already been described. We then reach Jnana Vapi or Jnana Bhavadi. Jnana Vapi. Now we're reading about Jnana Bhavadi. It's also called Jnana Bhavadi. Jnana Vapi is an important ancient tirtha which is hidden within the earth on the 10-mile parikrama path around Mathura between Bhuteshwar Mahadev and Katara Keshava Dev. That means the birthplace of Sri Krishna, Katara Keshava Dev. So referring to this sacred place, the Varaha Purana, Mathura Mahatmya, states, Yo Vapyam Dharmarajasya Mathurayastu Paschimai Stanam Karoti Tasyam Tu Grahador Sharana Lipyate. Quote, all the evil planetary influences of those persons who bathe in Ishavapi Bhavadi of Dharmaraj, situated in western Mathura, are removed and they attain bhakti to the Supreme Lord. So that's from the Varaha Purana and the Mathura Mahatmya. In his Mathura Parikrama, the best of poets, Harilal Kakor, says, Satyug, this is in Hindi, Satyug ko ik tirat kaho, vapi gyan bhakti kon laho, yamai jon snan karaiju, doi pap bahu punya baraju. Hindi is always such a different language to read than Sanskrit. It's very clear, but there's so many nuances in Hindi language. And whenever Gurudev would speak in Hindi, it would be so sweet. You know, so sweet. Because there's different kinds of Hindi. And actually, Gurudev's speaking was in very high-class Sanskrit Hindi. The people that heard him, sometimes those who didn't know that kind of level of Hindi, they found it a little difficult because it was very high educated Hindi, form of Hindi that Gurudev spoke. But also he spoke it in such a pleasing way, you know. So, and I've seen all over the world Gurudev addressing in the Hindi language to various Indian congregations. They loved hearing Gurudev's beautiful, beautiful Hindi from the lips of a Rasik Vaishnava. So the verse that we just read from Halilal Kakora says, there is a holy place from Satya Yuga in the form of a well that is filled with knowledge, gyan, and devotion, bhakti. Those who bathe in this well wash away all their sins and receive thousands and thousands of pious credits. Now, according to the Vayu Purana, Dharmaraj Yudhishthir built this bhavadi, this deep tank with steps. This place is also important as the place where the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna used to consult with Maharaj Yudhishthir. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita specifically describes the arrival in Sridham Mathura of Sachinandan Sri Gaur Hari, who is non-different from Sri Krishna, and who preached pure bhakti and the chanting of Krishna's holy names throughout the entire world. Sri Gaur Hari took bath in the Yamuna at Vishram Ghat. Then he went to the temple of Sri Keshav Dev, and seeing him performing kirtan and dancing in ecstasy, a crowd of thousands assembled there. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed achaman and bathed in Jnana Bhavadi. That pond he bathed in. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions that he later stayed at the house of a Vaishnava Brahmin from the Sanodiya community who lived near Jnana Bhavadi. and also accepted prasad here. Pretty high place. Now comes Mahavidya Devi, who's also known as Ambika Devi. Once Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Devi, Krishna, Baladev, and the other Gopas came to Ambikavan on pilgrimage. They bathed in the sacred water of the Saraswati river, worshipped Pashupati, means Gokarna Mahadev, and they stayed overnight. That night, a huge python caught Nanda Baba and slowly began to swallow him. Everyone tried to save him, but to no avail. Nanda Baba cried out to Krishna in great distress, and something wonderful took place. Who knows what took place?
You can read it.
No. You know that story, you've seen the picture in the Krishna book and so forth. Everyone was trying to beat the python, but then Krishna came, and what did Krishna do? He touched the python with his foot, just touched. And he at once gave up his huge snake body, and he assumed the form of a beautiful Vidyadhara. That means a heavenly denizen. The Vidyadhara stood up and paid his respect to Sri Krishna. Then on Krishna's inquiry, he revealed his identity. He said, I was a Vidyadhara named Sudarshan. Once while flying in an airplane, I saw some deformed sages in the lineage of Angira Muni, and I made fun of them. They cursed me to become a snake. Today, that curse has proven to be a benediction, because the touch of your lotus feet has not only freed me from the curse, but has also made my life successful. So this place is famous as Mahavidya Devi. Nice pastime. Now, along the Parikrama path, after this holy place, we come to Saraswati Kunda, Chamunda Devi, and Rajaka Badhatila. So now we hear about Rajaka Badhatila, which is the place of killing of the washerman. You remember that pastime? While roaming around Mathura city, Krishna and Baladev spotted a washerman, a Rajaka, whose job it was to wash and to dye Kamsa's clothes. Seeing the fine garments in his care, Krishna and Balaram asked him to give them something suitable, but the washerman made fun of them and refused to hand over any clothes. When Krishna heard the washerman's sarcastic remarks, he beheaded him with a blow of his bare hand before everyone present. Thus, Krishna gave the washerman a liberation that was fitting for him. Now proceeding further, we reach Gokarna Mahadev. Gokarna Mahadev is the area protector of the Dham on Mathura's northern side. Shivji here is called Gokarna Mahadev because Gokarna, the famous speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, worshipped him. You know that story?
With Gokarna, where he
This is called from the Srimad Bhagavat Mahatmya, the story, right? Go ahead.
There were two sons. One was very evil and wicked, and one was very good. Gokarna, he had cow's ears. I forget how that happened. But
I think the other one was called Dundakari.
Dundakari.
Right.
And Dundakari left. Gokarna left for a while, and Dundakari became a real dacoit. He created so much havoc and hurt so many people.
Right.
And he wound up having the body of a ghost.
Right.
And Gokarna, he asked Gokarna, please help me. So Gokarna didn't really know what
He
to
was
do.
wasn't he in a tree?
Well, he took shelter of a bamboo.
Right.
7 segments of it.
Yeah, okay.
And then Gokarna called people, and people assembled. And he spoke to Srimad Bhagavatam. After each day, one part of the bamboo would snap open.
Yeah.
And finally, after 7 days, the residents of Vaikuntha or whatever came and took Gokana on a plane for eternal liberation. And all the other people were asking, well, he was so much worse than us. Why did he get that? And we just got this. And Gokana explained, because he listened with so much attention because he was so scared of what the situation was, that therefore he got the benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And then they spoke the Bhagavatam again, and then everybody went there.
Yeah. So it matters very much the mood of the listener. Yes. Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So now continuing from here, from Gokarna Mahadev, near the Yamuna is Nilakanteshwar Mahadev. And further on is Ambarish Tila. Now, Ambarish Tila. On the right-hand side, near the confluence of the Saraswati and the Yamuna, is Ambarish Tila. Now, we kind of went through that because there was a ghat called Sudarshan Ghat, or some of the 24 ghats. But it was very briefly told, the story. But here, Gurudev is in a wonderful way recounting the story that took place. So, Ambarish Tila, in Satya Yuga, Maharaj Ambarish was the sole emperor of this world, which consists of 7 islands. So just imagine, Mathura is the capital of the entire world for the previous emperors of previous yugas. I mean, this is no tiny little place. But right now, to our eyes, we go there and all these little tiny houses and little lanes and, you know, but that was the place of all these emperors, and especially Maharaj Ambarish, who we're going to hear about. So, even though he was the emperor of the whole world, consisting of the 7 islands, he was an unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Lord, and he engaged all his senses in the following various limbs of bhakti. With his mind, he would meditate upon Sri Krishna's pastimes. Are we doing that? With our minds?
Right now we are.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes.
How much? Some.
Whenever you get close.
Okay. But we're hearing about him because he was always. Okay. Now, with his voice, he would chant the names of the Lord and glorify his various pastimes. Do we do that? A little bit. With his hands, he would clean the temple of Bhagavan. He would engage his ears in hearing about the pastimes of the Lord. He would engage his eyes in taking darshan of Sri Mukunda's temples. He would engage his nose in smelling the garlands, sandalwood paste, and other articles that had been offered at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. He would honor the prasad offered to the Supreme Lord by tasting it with his tongue, and with his legs he would circumambulate the Supreme Lord's tongue, the tulsi plant, his temples, and so on. He would also observe Ekadashi and other fasts on days related to Hari. So there are 2 verses. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor Vacham Shivai Kunta Gunanu Varnane. There are 2 verses in the beginning of this chapter in the 9th canto, which describe how Maharaj Ambarish engaged everything. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor, mean always thinking in his mind of the lotus feet of Krishna. So, once while residing at this place in Mathura, Maharaj Ambarish observed the vow of Ekadashi for 1 year by fasting without water, nirjala. Then on Dwadashi, there was only a short time after sunrise in which it was auspicious to break his fast. Maharaj Ambarish, he worshipped Bhagavan, and he was just about to take grains that had been offered to the Supreme Lord when Maharshi Durvasa arrived. With great respect, the king invited the sage to join him. Then the Maharshi said, I accept your invitation, but I first need to finish my daily duties. I will go to the bank of the Yamuna. Please wait until I return. Then saying this, the sage went to the Yamuna. However, Maharaj Durvasa's return was slightly delayed, and the auspicious time was about to pass. After consulting with the Brahmins and his ministers, Maharaj Ambarish took a drop of water that had washed the Supreme Lord's lotus feet in order to protect his fast. Charnamrita. When Maharaj Durvasa returned, he was furious, knowing well that Maharaj Ambarish had broken the fast without him. He pulled a matted lock of hair from his head, transformed it into a fiery demoness called Kritya, who was ready to burn Ambarish to ashes. However, Maharaj Ambarish simply stood there fearlessly with folded hands. The Sudarshan Chakra, the protector of the devotees, immediately appeared and burnt Kritya to ashes. Sudarshan Chakra then leapt toward Maharshi Durvasa, who swiftly ran everywhere to save his life. He fled to Bhuva, Svaha, and other planetary systems. He even went to Brahmaloka and Shivaloka, but no one in those places could save him. Wherever he went, he saw the frightening Sudarshan Chakra pursuing him. Finally, Maharshi Durvasa came to Narayan in Vaikuntha Loka and desperately cried out, "Help! Save me! Protect me!" Then Bhagavan Sri Narayan said, "I am under the control of my devotees. I am their heart and they are my heart. How can I forsake those who have taken my shelter, having left everything, their home, wife, sons, family, and wealth? You should at once return to Ambarish and plead for forgiveness. Then Sudarshan Chakra can be pacified by his prayer only and not by any other means." For 1 full year, the great devotee Ambarish Maharaj remained standing there, waiting for Durvasa and praying for the sage's welfare. Upon returning from Vaikuntha, the perturbed Durvasa begged Maharaj Ambarish for his life. Ambarish Maharaj pacified Sudarshan Chakra by offering prayers to him, and then satisfied the sage by respectfully presenting him an array of delicious preparations. Durvasa became astonished to witness the glories of Maharaj Ambarish, and he said, "Today I have realized the unprecedented glories of Bhagavan Ananta Dev's devotees. I greatly offended Maharaj Ambarish, but still he always desires nothing but my welfare. This is only possible for the devotees of the Supreme Lord." So this pastime took place here. To this day, Ambarish Tila stands as witness to the glories of the devotee Ambarish. And nearby towards the Yamuna is Chakratirtha, where Maharaj Ambarish pacified the chakra by offering various prayers. So, he has one question.
Oh, so
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard some story that the reason that the Sudarshan Chakra never caught Durvasa Muni is because it was a plan which even Durvasa Muni was involved with to show the glories of the devotees. Have you ever heard anything about that?
Well, yeah, definitely. Gurudev, he told it very directly. That actually,
Ambarish Maharaj, right?
Huh? No, Durvasa Muni was doing the staging.
Okay.
well, yeah, it was a plan, and we were talking about it the other day that actually Durvasa Muni is a Vaishnava, but he plays this external role of being a big, mystic yogi Brahmavadi, right? But actually, whatever he does, and he's actually a manifestation of Lord Shiva, partial manifestation, and then he gets very angry and like this. So, but his intention always, in the ultimate end, is to glorify the pure devotees by making them exhibit their incredible qualities, And also Sudarshan Chakra did not burn him. It only kept a certain distance behind him because Maharaj Ambarish was praying. And that went on for 1 entire year, right? So it's a beautiful pastime. And the fact that Gurudev acquired that, that place, the Durvasa Rishi ashram and everything, very wonderful. Gurudev was so happy when he acquired that. Yeah, I told the story the other day. So, tomorrow we'll continue with the place of Kankskila and other nearby places of darshan, like Dirgha Vishnu, Mathura Devi, Sri Padmanabha, 2 temples of Varahadev, temple of Dwarkadish, and then we will complete that chapter and move on. Braj Mandal Parikrama. Gaur Premanand. Pancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Samudri Vacha Patitanam Pavani. Jai Shri Braj Mangala Parikrama Ki Jai, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jiyo Ki Jai, Shri Gaur Arti Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Jugal Arti Ki Jai.